Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a wonderful night, wonderful day. I hope you guys are feeling well. I wanted to start this one out by giving thanks to a few viewers. Thanks to Daryl and Pam. That's twice now you've come through with supporting the channel, and I just want to give you my heartfelt thanks. I've had people say, I want to support you, but I'd rather you not say anything. But I do want to definitely acknowledge what you've done and just thank you from the bottom of my heart, because synchronistically things align to where you were like an answered prayer for me, and I just want to really thank you. Also, I got a pyramid. It's an organite pyramid I got from a viewer. It's pretty cool. I always wanted one of these. Very nice. I hope you can see it good. Very beautiful. So thank you to Terry for sending that. I love it. It's wonderful. Jamie, you guys know Jamie. He was on the call the other day. He had told me that when he comes across synchronicities and numbers and things like that, that he always just gives praise to God at that moment. And he said he was talking about if we all do this, and which many of us I know do, and it really doesn't matter, sort of what worldview you come from, if you want to thank Jesus or the Holy Spirit or God or Source or angels or whatever. But if we can take a moment and thank Source or, whatever you feel most comfortable with for the connection we have, not only to Source, but also to each other, I think we can connect in synchronistic ways that are beyond our imagination. So thank you, Jamie, for that idea. I bet it already happens to some extent, but even more now if we sort of consciously do it. I think a lot more people, because I know some people just smile and they're like, oh, there it goes again. What the heck, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely wanted to. I had a couple other announcements to make, and I was running late, and so I don't have it, but I have enough time. It's like one of them was, you guys know Alan and Sandra. I have a bit I want to play for them. It's about a minute long or whatever, but they're starting a show with Shri and Kira, and it's going to be on Thursday nights, but it starts on the 26th of July. So I have time to make that announcement, but it's going to be a new evening show. We're looking forward to that totally. Of course, they have their Twin Flame Divine Fire radio show on Sundays. And we had them on the show, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. And we talked about their show. Their links are in that video if you want to find it. But I just did want to make that announcement that they're going to be doing the show with Shri and Kira, a special show with the four of them. And so really excited about that. And of course, Monday. Now, this is sort of late last minute. I've been trying to get Jim Self on here, and it looks like he's going to be on Monday. Now, I don't know if you guys have watched the video, his latest video that just came out. I actually had the link below. So he's going to be on Monday at, let me see the exact time here, because it was in Mountain Time. It's going to be Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 6 p.m. GMT. And I have a link to this video below. I'm going to play about 3 minutes of this video to give you a little taste of Jim, because I know a lot of people already are familiar with him. But I think with these times that we're in and just preparing ourselves for this shift from 3D to 5D, I really love the fact that Jim has some really useful tools in helping with that transition. So I'm going to play, I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to play about 3 minutes of this video, and I think it'll hook you. I think the 3 minutes will hook you. You'll want to go watch the rest of it on your own, and the link is below. And then we'll talk to Jim Monday. And if you have any questions from this video you watched, then you can post them. We're going to be live Monday. So here's this.
That internal nature of who you are, to a great extent, is changing. And it's changing very rapidly as this shift unfolds. So let me go back a little bit and talk about this shift, just to put it in perspective. There's really clearly a transition, and that transition is from who I have been to who I would really like to be. That nature of third dimensional world in right and wrong, good and bad, should and shouldn'ts, dualities, linear time, this is how it is, this is only how it is. All of those restrictions that we find in that part of the world that we've grown up in. That's all shifting. You can't take your baggage on this journey, as I've said so many different times. And the purpose of the shift is to disrupt much of the status quo that is in that good, bad, right, wrong aspect of life. As that gets disrupted, it's being disrupted in your own internal awareness as well as the external awareness. You can't take your baggage with you on this journey. So much of how you have perceived the world, how you've avoided the world, how you have kind of navigated through the world, how you've created justifications for yourself in terms of engaging with the world, much of that doesn't serve you. And in the context of where we're now beginning to play in this shift, the shift is driving much of that from the body. So although you're looking at the external world, and in a way, many people blame it on the external world, the geopolitics, or the nature of the shifting of governance in the world. To a large extent, it's you. It really is all about what's going on you, what's unfolding from you. There's a consciousness that's being raised in many people all over the world, particularly in you, because you're the ones who are waking up. You are the ones who are really demanding, in many ways, more awareness, more of a state of well-being into a world. And so the more you become conscious of what you want, simultaneously, the more of what you don't want is really pushing on your edges. And so as this shifting consciousness is moving now very rapidly, I'll talk about these waves of light that have been going on for about 2.5, 3 years now. They are accelerating. We just went past the solstice in June. There's going to be a lot of change coming forward in the real immediate area that we're kind of playing in.
And I won't play the whole video, but I did want to share enough of that to hopefully get you guys hooked. And I have his website also linked below, so you can check it out. He has a ton of free resources you can check out, and that is masteringalchemy.com. So one of the things that that comes across all the time with me is I'll be living in an era that is troubling, it's challenging. I don't know. It's like so many times I've had good times in life, but I didn't realize it at the time. I was, so I guess let down by unrealistic expectations. An example would be when I was in a band in my younger years, I got tired of hauling amplifiers in and out of gigs, and I got tired of really performing, and there was a lot of work for no reward, but I had unrealistic expectations of making it big. And if I had just enjoyed where I was at, what I was doing, I loved making music, I loved playing for people, because now looking back on it, it was some of the funnest times in my life. And on one hand, I feel like, I should have enjoyed it more at the time. And, it was that way just before I awoke and started doing this whole YouTube channel and everything. I had a job at the flea market. Now, we struggled. We barely made any money at all. And I had my daughter with me. She was taking graphic design in college at the time. And, we got to spend a lot of time together. And although we weren't making any money, that time with her that we got to spend together doing art and creating decals and doing things together, I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't, take it back. I mean, if I had it to do all over again, knowing I would struggle the whole time to make any money in that business, I would still do it all over again just for the time I got to spend with my daughter. That was, not long after that, she got pregnant and now she's got a grandson, and we just can't spend that kind of time together. But it was about halfway through that when I wasn't making money, and I still kept doing it because I was just enjoying my time with her. And I caught it about halfway through, and I said, you know what, I'm not making any money, but at least I'm coming out ahead. And the time I'm spending with my daughter is precious time to me. So I just enjoyed it, even though I wasn't making any money, to make it worth it. I just still did it and I enjoyed it. And I just kept on trucking with it with her. And, then when she decided to call it quits, I decided to call it quits, because really at that point, the only reason I was doing it was for her. And I suspect it's going to be a lot like this as we move through this shift that we're in. And things are changing so rapidly. When I look back on it, things seem like they've been changing really rapidly. But looking forward, I'm always like, oh, come on, how much longer? And sometimes you can get impatient about, the shift from 3D to 5D. We want things now. It's like we're in this era of fast food restaurants and stuff where you can just get everything really quick. And I think things are happening fast. It's just never fast enough for what we're wanting. You know what I mean? So I think we should really try to savor these times, because, we're seeing so many incredible things happening. And, it's just, I think at some point we're going to look back at this and say, you know what, that was really awesome to be a part of that. So why not enjoy it now? Sure, times can be challenging. Everything's not, really easy, but there's tools available to us. And that's one of the reasons why I want to have Jim Self on Monday. He's super knowledgeable in this area, and he's got a lot of tools that we can use to put things in perspective, realize why we're here, what's happening, what we can expect as things fall away, the old falls away and the new comes in. So I'm really excited to have Jim on. And I think although I didn't get the information exactly the way Jim presents it, I have been getting the information in a totally different way, to where when I listen to Jim and what he has to say, it really does resonate with me. And I'll give you an example. Just recently, I've been, the word script has been coming up, like as in a movie script. And I'd heard Alan Watts a while back talk about, there's everybody's playing their parts. You've got, the villain, you got the hero. And when you think of things like that, it's really sort of like, we're in this audience, we're watching things unfold. Sure, there's the baddies and there's the good people, and we want things to change. But I think keeping that observer perspective is really helpful, as the old systems are falling away and the new is coming in. We can welcome them in. And I think it's easy for us to get caught up in some of the stuff that's going on right now. And, from what you see on the news. And that's why I always recommend just turning your television off. There's, I have people contact me all the time. Like, did you hear about this? Or did you hear about that? I'm like, no. Like, well, that was like 3 days ago. I'm like, I don't even watch news, because you know what? It doesn't matter. When the things that are out of my control, I'm finding that it's interesting to observe those things. But at the end of the day, if I can't change it, if I can't affect it in any sort of way, it really time or energy to put into it. Now, I do like to watch things. I like to observe, but when it's out of my hands and I can't do anything about it, I tend to just trust my higher self, or the divine source, God, whatever you want to call it, that he's taking care of that part. And I just take care of the things that are within my sphere of influence, how I treat people and how I conduct myself and things like that, because that's really, my actions is really all I have control over, and my thoughts. And I think for a lot of people that said they had a hard time listening to the I Am discourses, which I do have a playlist for that, because the I Am discourses were so helpful for me to take control of my emotions, my thoughts, my actions. And a lot of people, I think Jose was one that said she had a difficult time listening to it because of the vocabulary that's used. But English is her second language, or isn't her first language anyway. So I think, having Jim Self on Monday, he really has practical tools that are easy to understand. And like I said, there's a ton of free resources online that he has that will get you started in sort of viewing the world from more of an observer point of view and not getting sucked into all of the chaos, because I really think the chaos is orchestrated. It's there for us to, it's there to challenge us, but we don't have to get sucked into it. So let me see. Let me go to the chat here. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. I just wanted this short episode. Let me see. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in. We are going to do the longer call-in show tomorrow night. So if you do want to call in, be prepared for tomorrow night. It's probably going to be 2 or 3 hours again on the Friday night love stream. And if it's going to be a little later though, so it might be okay if you're in Australia or New Zealand, somewhere like that, and you can call in through Facebook Messenger. Just friend me tonight. My links are in the description. Friend me, and then I can accept the friend request, and then you'll be able to call in on Messenger toll free, and just have your earbuds or whatever available to you, so the sound to come through okay. And then for those in the States, you can just call in on the number. So that's going to be tomorrow night. I'm planning 2 or 3 hours, so that should make for a nice, fun discussion, and you guys can chat it up in the chat box. I see you guys already are. Thank you, Tanya. You're sweet. She says, I'm a huge bridge for all of us. And you know what? I feel like I'm on this journey with you guys. I don't feel like a teacher or a leader or anything like that. I feel like I'm like on this journey, and you guys are along with me, and we're just taking it together. And when I come across interesting people with helpful information, I try to present them to you and in an unbiased way, and you can sort of take what resonates with you, because I feel like everybody has something to offer. So it's awesome. Let's see. Okay, Michelle, you can email me and we can set something up. Let's see here. Oh, wonderful. Lenny, congratulations. I don't know if I'm a master, but I sure do know how to Google stuff and how to search stuff. So if I can't figure it out, I'm sure I can point you in the right direction, Michelle. Let's see. Thank you, Leah. Yes, Sherry. I love all y'all like family too. Thank you, Andrea. I love what I do too. It's really it's a blast. That's why I've really been getting into this whole thing. I mean, at first I was like, come on, what's the date? How long we got to do this? But the more that I see things happening, the more excited I get, and the more I'm okay with however long it takes, the more confident I am with trusting that there is a higher agency at work that is guiding this whole process. And the more you realize that the things that are out of your hands, you don't have to worry about it, the more you can just relax and say, you know what? And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to say that about Daryl and Pam in the beginning, is because, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I know it will. And I've done that twice and they've come through for me. That's why I wanted to thank them, because they're connected, and one of the reasons why I don't ask for money on this channel is because I know a lot of people are struggling with money or whatever. So, but I do ask. I ask my higher self. I'm like, you see what needs to be done, and I recommend anyone out there, because I know a lot of you guys are struggling with money or whatever. You don't have to know how it's going to happen. Just trust that it's taken care of, and someone will step up to the plate, and it's some way, and it's never the way I think it's going to get taken care of. I'm always surprised. I mean, you can think, even I had somebody was talking about, oh, it was Michelle. you know, I was joking about going to the casino when she said her mom won the slot machine or whatever. But I did go to, because of the talk with Nathan, I went in and I asked the guy at Quick Trip, I'm like, hey, which lottery draws tonight? Because I don't play the lottery, so I don't know. But the guy behind me goes, I don't know. I don't play the lottery. And he asked the other guy, and he's like, I don't know. And I had my son with me, and I'm like, man, just forget about it then, you know. And my son was like, why aren't you going to play? And I'm like, don't you see that was a sign to let me know that it isn't going to work out that way? They don't know which one's playing tonight. I could look it up, but why push the issue? That's letting me know it's not going to work out that way. It's going to work out some kind of other way. And I didn't really need the lottery. I just needed, you know, a certain amount that came through in a synchronistic way. And, you know, I'm happy with that. I don't really need, I'm content with where I'm at. I've really reduced my cost of living and everything. So, and then, you know, I get like Sherry and Biker Babe trickle money into me. And you believe it or not, that's really enough to float me. And I'm really happy about that. So lots of love and light to you guys for, you know, thinking of me, and the rest of you guys. Just be here and love each other. And, you know, don't think I'm expecting anything, because I know that many of us are struggling just to make ends meet. So just being here to me is wonderful. Let's see. Oh, did you send them through PayPal or through if you send them through PayPal, they won't show up on here. That's only the super chat when they show up. Magenta Pixie, she is coming on the 23rd. I believe it's a Monday. I have my phone with me. I can tell you exactly because it is on the calendar. Magenta Pixie. No, it's not on the calendar. Oh, I better put it on there, huh? Oh, you know what? I remember getting interrupted when I was putting it on there. But yeah, it's Monday the 23rd. I want to say gosh, I'm just guessing now. I think it was 5 or 6 UTC or UK time. I think it worked out to be like noon or 1 o'clock. So I think 1 or 2 Eastern time, but I'll definitely have it up there before then. But just know it's the 23rd on the afternoon of the 23rd, or it's early evening if you're in the UK. Really looking forward to having Magenta Pixie on. But yes, I will be talking about that a lot before it actually comes up. Let's see. You know, the tiredness people are feeling, the worn out feeling. Watch that video by Jim Self that I just played the excerpt to, because someone else had called in, asked that question. When was it? It was towards the end of the video. He took some questions at the end of that video, and one of them was about feeling tired, and he had a great answer for that. And that's part of these energies coming in. We're receiving these upgrades, and I think what he said is to just take care of yourself. If you feel like you need to take a nap, or if you feel like you need to just go hang out in nature. I think he recommended going and sitting by, a stream or whatever. Just getting out in nature is a great way to get grounded and to sort of accept whatever these light codes are that we're getting. I don't know. This is out of my realm. That's why I got Jim coming on. He's the guy that knows all about this stuff. He's got a really interesting story about how he gets the information at night when we fall asleep, and we sort of go into dream world and forget everything, and then come back and wake up and maybe remember little tidbits or whatever. He doesn't forget. He lays his head down like the rest of us, but then and I'll have him go into more of like how it works or whatever, but it's really amazing. He just has never lost that his whole life. So, and you can tell because the information I get it's just fragmented. He gets it in such a easy to understand way. And it really helps me organize what I've been getting in that synchronistic or intuitive way that I really can't even understand how I've gotten the information. But I've gotten it, and that's how I know. That's why when you say, you know, something resonates with you, you're listening to someone, you know, it resonates with you. And I actually come across his information like last year, but we were looking for a certain date for things to happen, you know, and he wasn't. He was talking about, you know, this is going to take a little bit longer, and you know, I try to be unbiased and on the fence, you know, about stuff like that. But when you really want something so badly, and it wasn't that his message didn't resonate with me, it's just not what I was wanting. So yeah, I'm glad we can have him on Monday, and he's really got a lot of information. Yeah, I'm talking about Jim Self. He's going to be on Monday. He is, for those that's just kind of coming in late, his link is in the bottom. He just did this video that you can watch, creating the two Earths with Jim Self. This video is down below. Definitely somebody you want to subscribe to, and wonderful information. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long. I think the main bulk of it's like 40, and then he takes questions and answers, which was still just as interesting. So yeah, he'll be on Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern time, 12 Mountain, and that works out to be 6 p.m. GMT. Oh, you're asking about Candace. Candace will be on the 11th at 1 p.m. Central Time. That works out to be 2 Eastern. And again, that would be 6 p.m. GMT or UTC, whatever. So if you're in the UK, you can check that out. It'd be like after work. Okay. Wow. Michelle Nowlin says, or Nolan maybe, I'm not sure how this is pronounced, but watching live from a beach in Australia. How cool is that? So it's Friday afternoon in Australia right now. She's sitting on the beach watching the show with you guys. Is that not cool? I wish we could switch places. I'd love to be on the beach in Australia right now. That is too cool. Ben Jojo, what is up? Good to see you. I know you've been busy. Glad you took the time to hop in here. Jose, I was just talking about you. Yeah, I sent you a message earlier. I was wanting to show this pyramid that got sent. And I know Terry had sent it to me, and I know she sent you one too. And I was like, well, I was thinking maybe you could come on, we could see yours, but I'm sure you probably showed yours on your show. But very cool. I love it. It's awesome. Very cool. So big I love you and thank you to Terry for that. Let's see here. Okay, so if there's not any more questions, oh, Biker Babe, just got the notification. Are they shadow banning me? It's no problem. This is really a short one anyway, but definitely want to tune in tomorrow night. That's going to be like 3 hours. And I tell you what, if you already know you want to talk to me, you can and we're friends on Messenger, go ahead and send me a message and say, you know, because if I can line them up ahead of time, then I will just start with those who contact me. So send me a message on Messenger. Let me know tomorrow night. I think we're going to run probably, let me figure out what time that will be. 11, 10, 9, 8. Okay, 8 Eastern time, 7 Central. And I will run so I'll start somewhere around 7 Central, 8 Eastern, and then run for about 3 hours. So if you know that you want to talk, yeah, and it's really going to be open forum, just about your experiences. You can talk about the Mandela effect. You can talk about symptoms you're having. You can talk about your ghost experience. You can talk about whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. Just as long as, you know, you're polite. It doesn't really matter. Oh, we got Lori Lothian in here. Lori Lothian, that video you did with Nathan was so wonderful. I was like smiling the whole time, and gosh, you guys made for a great interview with the two of you going back and forth. You work well together. For anybody who hasn't seen that on Nathan's channel, okay, perfect. I can even start with you tomorrow, Biker Babe, if you're off work. I don't know what time you get off, but I could have you call in first, and then we can start with you, and then anyone else that's on Messenger, send me a message, and then I'll know that you want to talk tomorrow night, and then I'll just go down the line first before I even open the phone lines. So, Jose. So let's see here. Oh, Lori Lothian. That's what I got distracted. I didn't put the link below, you guys, but well, Lori, you could actually, aren't you? You should be a moderator if you're not. Lori, if you want to paste that video in, the Nathan's video, that was excellent, and I recommend anybody watch it, because if you dig the Sam material, you'll totally dig this video. I loved it from start to finish. It went by so fast. It's 2 hours, but it was one of those videos you're like, this is going to be long, and then you get to the end of it, and you're like, wow, that went by really fast. I loved every minute of it. So, let's see here. Yeah. I love that face you do, Jose. I'll let this roll out for a little bit so you can paste that in here. Or you can even paste it in the comments below for those watching it later. Let me see here. But definitely check out that video. Check out the video by Jim Self that I played the piece of. And we'll be back tomorrow. And then, of course, Saturday night, we've got, with Eileen, we'll have the Power of 8 at 8. That's going to be cool. Definitely want to join in on that, but with retro causality, you really don't have to, but it would be nice to have you in the chat and join in, and we can do all of that. And I can't even remember what's going on Sunday. I think Sunday I will probably do an afternoon call-in show for those in the UK, so they can, or not just the UK, but just in Europe in general, they can call in, because it's going to be too late tomorrow night for most of them, except for the night owls, which I'm sure there's a lot of awake night owls, because I'm usually up all night. Okay, so I guess I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it on this one. Lots of love and light to everyone, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.